We're live. Good morning.
We're live. We're live.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yay. We're all here. Dr. Kilsey, you can play music for us this morning?
I don't know. I was just thinking about, because I haven't actually played my guitar in so long, but
That's right.
Love it.
okay, that's it.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
That was beautiful. That really got us centered.
I gotta warm up. I gotta warm up a little bit more. It's my level here. But what do we got, Dr. Nelson? What's going on today? And Ollie is here, and the most amazing Angela Lerro is here, rocking and rolling and sharing her amazing energy.
Well, we're gonna listen to Angela and answer a bunch of questions, which you're gonna put in the chat with a QQQ in front of it, please, so we can spot them very easy.
Well, I'm so excited to be here with you all today. It's a very early morning for me here, but I'm just so grateful. So thank you for allowing me to be on this show with you all today.
We've got Instagram, we got subscribe, and what's the giveaway today?
Let's do a babies for babies.
All right.
Babies for babies, everybody.
In your life? Making babies. That's it. We got Baby Girl here. We got Angela here. We got Dr. Nelson and Ollie. Where's Ollie? She's in Bogota, right?
Yeah, I'm in Bogota. It's not like much different than from where I actually live. It's just a different city.
Somewhere
and I'm
in
wearing
an
this every day representing Child's Health.
Well,
hey, me too.
I've got the CNY fertility on today. I'm doing surgery this morning on someone else, not me.
Okay.
But I did get my CT angiogram the other day, and I'm holding out on sharing it. I've got more information first. Because I gotta wait. I gotta
okay.
Did you ever do the lipoprotein fractionation?
No.
NMR?
I think I did, but I'll do it again. I'll put that together. You tell me what else I need to do.
All right.
Angela, tell us all about yourself and what brought you into this crazy 6 a.m., which used to be 5 a.m. Club.
I guess I'm in the no sleep club. It's a 3 a.m. for me over here. I did take a nap.
I'll get plenty of sleep when I'm dead.
That's right. You know, I have to say also, I mean, carnivore gives us loads of energy too. So it wasn't even like I had to pull myself out of bed at 2:30 in the morning. I was already awake and ready to go. So there's that.
And although you were gifted with suffering and pain,
yes, I was.
And it's that life journey about suffering and pain. Can you describe some of your suffering and pain in your beautiful young life?
I guess we could call this the biggest blessing for me was my suffering and pain. I had a great deal of it my whole entire life. And I think that if anybody were to look at suffering and pain, most people look at it as a curse. They look at it as a burden. For me, my suffering and my pain was mysterious, lifelong health issues. I lost my father when I was 9 also. And I then had all these autoimmune conditions And eventually it led me to having breast cancer when I was 28.
Oh,
And
wow.
then 6 years later, I got diagnosed with neurological late stage Lyme disease, co-infections, Babesia, Bartonella, mold toxicity. And I found out that that was actually the root of all of my mysterious illnesses my entire life. But by the time that that diagnosis came, I was on my deathbed. And my nervous system was so completely shot by that time. I couldn't I couldn't stand up longer than 5 to 10 minutes without passing out. I couldn't walk. I couldn't drive. I lost my driver's license. And the worst of it all was that I was living in mold, but I didn't know it. And I had something called mast cell activation syndrome. And that was giving me something called a histamine intolerance. And when I had initially got diagnosed with cancer, I had learned that I was supposed to be doing a plant-based diet because that's what Western medicine was teaching and still teaches and still promotes. And so between the allergic reactions that I was having and all of the food allergies that I was developing when I had cancer, I went more towards that plant-based diet to hopefully find healing. But unfortunately, that did not go so well. And I didn't get well. In fact, I got sicker. And in addition, one of the things that brought me to healing, in addition to carnivore, was when I was going through breast cancer, was I found Reiki and energy work. And that got me connected to my spirituality, my spiritual path, and that helped tremendously with healing. But when you're living in mold and then living in a traumatic relationship and having all these other substantial events go on in your life, you can only meditate your way to wellness for so long, because if you're not in a nutritionally sound body, your body's not going to heal. And at that point, like I said, when I was on my deathbed, so this was like February 2021, the only thing that I wasn't reacting to was meat. And so I remember, like, I didn't know anything about carnivore. I knew nothing about a carnivore diet because I was eating mostly plants. I still ate a little bit of meat. That's how I knew that I could still tolerate it, because that was the one thing that I remember just sitting with, like a bowl of ground beef, and I was still having a slight reaction, but I wasn't reacting 100%. And that was only just because my histamine, my gut was so unbalanced. But I said, you know what, I could tolerate this slight reaction versus going into anaphylaxis every other day. So that's when I really started understanding what histamine was. And I went on a mission to find non-aged meat. And I called over 500 farms in the US, and that's how I found Billy Doe Meats. But it also led me to learn, that's how I learned out that I had Lyme disease. And that then I Googled, can I just survive off of eating meat? Because at the same time, my doctors, my Western doctors, were ready to put me on TPN and a feeding tube because I was losing so much weight. I think I was around like 89 pounds. I stopped weighing myself once I got to 89 pounds because I was just too afraid to see what else, like if I lost any more weight. So when I found that I was laying in bed one day and I was like, am I going to die? I mean, I was ready to die. Really, I was planning my death. I was planning I was getting my affairs in order, because that was truly my doctors had no answers, and nobody could figure out how to heal me. And so I took it upon myself to heal myself. And that's how I just really dove deep into eating meat. And then I Googled, can I just survive off of eating meat? Even when I received the message so clearly, eat the meat, that's going to help you heal. I still had to get Google's confirmation that I could heal off of this. But that's what led me to reading books by Dr. Paul Saladino. I think that was one of my first books, The Carnivore Code, when he was still carnivore. Then it led me to Sean Baker. I read his book, and then led me to Dr. Kiltz. And I'm just reading all of these stories and all of this information that people are thriving off of this diet. And it was really baffling to me, because not only was I in an environment where I was getting plants pushed on me through Western medicine, but also when you're in that spiritual space with in spirituality and yoga, it's all very vegan, plant-based centric. So I was really it was like I was just a product of my environment at that time. So this was such a big 360 or 180 for me that I really didn't think I was going to survive. But in fact, not only did I survive, but I thrived, and I got my health back. I got my life back, and I really made it my mission to give back and turn my pain into purpose. And and I not only expanded my Reiki practice into doing more holistic health coaching and helping my clients with the same conditions. And I work now like remotely with people all over the world, because it's my passion is just to help as many people as I can, and especially to do it naturally.
Would you say that the meditation, the prayer, the mindset, maybe our biggest challenge in all of this? Obviously, eating meat centric seems to be a big plus, but how do you measure the mind and the meat in all of this in our practices?
Well, that's a great question. Well, healing starts in the mind, and we are only one decision away from healing. And when it comes to that, when you get to that space, when you're really in that suffering, you really have to make that decision. But that to me was where I found the God within myself. I found that God, the same God that created these animals, also created me, and that there is a circle of life. And when we're eating meat, we're taking in that life force energy from that animal. And so it was really such like, I'm getting emotional talking about it, because I think that was one of the deepest moments of my life, was having to make these life-altering decisions on a whim when you barely have enough life within you. And I just really relied on God to lead me in that space. And at that point, I didn't want to listen to anybody else. That my healing just became the relationship with me and the divine. And I really leaned on that. So whatever I felt, whatever intuition I connected with, whatever I prayed, I would ask in prayer and receive in meditation.
Is meditation something that we all might be practicing and not knowing it, but we're focusing on the negative and not on the positive? And is there a simple meditation and or prayer that you practice on a regular basis?
That's a good question. I mean, I think we all have the ability to meditate, but a lot of people that do meditate or that don't meditate, I think the biggest challenge that most people have about meditating is that they don't have time. And my response when people tell me that they don't have time, I said, well, you know what? Nobody has time, because time does not really exist. We create time. We make time. And we make time for what's important to us. We don't have to meditate for hours a day. A simple 10-minute body scan is a great meditation. And that's often what I tell my clients that are in the same boat. Some of my clients tell me that their nervous system is so disrupted that they can't even close their eyes. And so the best meditation, if you're a beginner, is just sit, put 2 feet on the ground, close your eyes, and just connect with your heart. You can put your hand on your heart and your hand on your stomach. Take some belly breaths so that you feel your belly exhaling when you're, exhale and then inhale. And just feel your belly. And as you're doing that, just connect with each part of your body from your head to your toes. It takes about 5 minutes, and it's a great beginner grounding meditation that just helps you center within yourself.
Do you have any special books that you recommend others? Did you want to catch that, Dr. Nelson or Alia? You've seen some
real quick
questions, and go ahead, Alia.
Okay, so this is from Action Pregnancy Safe Cosmetics. Love the story. I also didn't know carnivore was carnivore when I started and was reacting to everything except meat. How long were you on carnivore before healing until you were thriving?
My progress is pretty quick. I would say it took me about 3 months before I started to really turn the needle. It took me about a month. About those 3 months was when I started to, during the first 3 months was when I started to detox. So my body started to kill off all those microbes that those pathogens were feeding off of, because I was giving it so much sugar and so much, I was doing whatever I could to keep my weight on. So that included as whatever I could tolerate. So I would say between 3 to 6 months, the first 3 to 6 months was when I really noticed a significant change, and when I started to really, really thrive. What I would say would be 6 months in, but when I really I started noticing significant difference in 3 months. I started to really thrive in 6 months. But like my first symptom that I had relief with was gastroparesis. And I love to talk about this because many people think that, oh, well, when you are carnivore, we don't go to the bathroom. And I, being plant-based, I used to be in the hospital all the time because I had severe gastroparesis, and it would cause a lot of inflammation in my gut. and I would constantly have to be on like laxatives, and was always getting hemorrhoids and being in the hospital for that. And my first 2 weeks on carnivore was like the first time I ever was regular. And like nobody believed me because everybody kept telling me, well, that's impossible because you need fiber. So that was when I started to realize that, okay, like this is truly going to be a healing journey with just myself, because nobody knows nobody knows anything about this diet. And if I keep listening to what everybody has to say, I'm going to go back to the way that I used to eat, which obviously almost killed me. So I'm just going to keep going and doing what I feel is right within my body, my mind, and my spirit, and take it from there.
Robin Janice on Instagram, my meditation mantra: I allow myself to feel, I allow myself to heal. I love it.
Yes, I say that a lot. We have to feel it to heal it.
Feel it to heal it. And I am healed. I am healed.
I am healed.
I am healed. I am healed. Well, that's all. It's just we're on a path, right? We're on a path.
Yes.
Do we have some other questions and comments there? Someone commented about from Instagram about sunlight sensitivity on carnivore. Any thoughts on comment? I don't know.
That is wild. So it's so interesting because I'm Italian, and I used to burn so much before carnivore. And unfortunately, it's like 3 a.m. here, so you can't really, I'm under like some fluorescent lighting right now, but I have such a great tan right now. I have not burned at all this summer, and I have been outside every single day. I do not burn at all anymore.
Yeah, I found the same thing, but I think it also depends on what people breathe, drink, and eat, their environment. There's so many things, I guess, even to the point, where does the animal come from? What did it eat? What are the factors that could be in all of that? Bruce, for sure.
I got another question.
Go ahead.
I will get to that one next. No Carb Barb. Angela, your story is amazing. I have heard you say that I lack love. Will you please expound upon the role of trauma and chronic illness?
Yes. So something that I learned and truly believe is that when we talk about our illness starts with ILL, I lack love. And I truly believe that the more severe trauma that we have been exposed to, and we've navigated through and struggled, the more suffering and the more significant our illnesses can be, mainly because of what they do to our nervous system. And our nervous system dysregulates, our nervous system is what regulates our immune system. So I see this, I experience this personally, but I also see this with my clients, is that if you really connect trauma and chronic conditions, they really do go hand in hand. And because I have seen people that have gone through, like, I'm just going to use Lyme disease, for example, Lyme and co-infections, but they don't suffer. Like they didn't have as much trauma in their life. And so therefore their immune system healed and they just went on with their life. And then you see other people, and I look at the trauma, we look at what their childhood was like, what they've been carrying, if they are unable to forgive, because I think forgiveness is a huge key in trauma, and how we handle our difficult relationships, what, our inner child. So there's so much that goes into our health that can truly affect the outcome of our wellness. And so that I lack love, it really comes down to where are we lacking the love for ourselves, and how is that lack of love that we maybe didn't receive from the people that we needed it, and how we can transform the lost love that we didn't have and pour it back into ourselves to heal ourselves and heal ourselves whole.
I love life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of it is, as we speak, as we think and speak, so shall it be. And that is, as we begin to change language, that we're creating new directions, new paths. But it's really our I am ill language that I am love language. And I think because I always love, I love the shorts that I go through on either YouTube or whatever it is. And ultimately we're born with this body, and our job is this body. And so we need to care and love it. And these are the practices to find the love, because the people that we didn't get love from didn't get love either. And
Exactly.
so our job is to love them in order to unlove ourselves. And that's where forgiving and forgiveness really comes in this journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of us, we like when we feel broken, and there's so many of us that it's like when our body feels broken, our heart feels broken. And a lot of us, when we go through any type of chronic illness, especially, we can lose a lot of people in our lives that we thought were going to be there for us to support us. And it can be very isolating, but we also know that in that isolation, we grow resilient, and that's when we truly connect. To me, that was the biggest part of my suffering, was being in isolation and not having as much support as I had thought I would. And so, I was in bed and it just felt so alone. And I just remember just feeling like I had nobody. And I knew that I felt like I was going to die regardless, but like I actually really wanted to, because I just never thought I was going to get well. I mean, it was so hard, but I had to really overcome that voice in my head, because at the end of the day, it was that voice that was keeping me sick. And I had to change the story, and I had to rewrite a new one. And I had to really dive deep and remind myself and like tell myself a new script, which was, like you just said, instead of like I lack love, like illness, I felt like I lacked love, but in wellness, I love love. I love life.
Nothing has to happen out there. It's all an inside job.
That's right. Yes.
And from us sufferers who have strengthened, part of the path is to share the suffering and the strengthening at the same time. And that's so Sandy 7 on Instagram, was hard for me to love myself, but it's a turnaround for sure. When you find a path and keep going, it will develop a stronger path. I mean, ultimately, the sharing of your pain and your path is part of the the strengthening for all of us, because we're not alone, but we think we are.
That's right. That's right.
I want to, so here's Bruce, 100% TNP disabled, UCMC vet, epilepsy, 20 plus years, seizures 2-3 times a week, tremors daily, now 53 days free for 53 plus days of, 53 days seizure free. That's amazing.
Very good.
It's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Amazing.
Here we go.
Any
Oh,
books that you've utilized on your journey that have been helpful for you? Any readings or watching or listening things that could help others plug in and get a grasp of which way to go in this and how to get started?
Yes. So my first book was The Alchemist. I love that book. I think I read it 4 times. So that was my first one. Power of Now was my second one. But there's a book that someone very special gave me that is changing my life right now. That person's Dr. Kiltz gave me this incredible book. It's called The Christ-Based Teachings. And gave it to me a couple weeks ago, and every day I just open a page and read it. And it has been one of the most eye-opening books that I've ever read, and it's changing my life in the best way. It's also making me feel very validated and seen and connected to the way that I've always connected with Christ and the mystical parts of his teachings. And this is just such a beautiful book. And I don't think it's in print anymore, but it's definitely worth looking into, trying to find it if you can.
It's on Thrifty Books and Amazon, like for $65. We're working on getting it reprinted so we can make it $5 or $10 for all of us, because I think it's one of the best books that I've ever found. The Alchemist was one of my first readings, and it's like a game changer. The Power of Now. I mean, there's just infinite books out there, and I find that listening. And I used to run 10 miles 3 times a week, or I'd ride my bike 150, 200 miles, and I'd always listen to a story that got me sort of reattached to the truth that God is within all of us. And each and every one of us has the power to make the changes and to manifest that illness to I love life.
That's right.
we
Simple.
have another question. Oh, here we go. Here's the question. Do calories matter, or do you just listen to your inner voice for feeding?
That's me or to all of us?
To you first.
Okay. So I used to think they mattered, to be honest. I thought they did. But your body is intuitive. It knows what it needs. So unless you're intentionally trying to do some sort of cut for like a bodybuilding prep or something, I just listen to my into my intuition. You know, fatty meat, fat. I do eat organs, and I eat until my body says it's full. I try to, like, every meal is a gift at this point for me. Like I view every time I eat a gift, because there was a long time where I couldn't, or that I would look at my food and just pray that I wouldn't have a reaction. So when I sit down to eat, I'm not thinking about calories. I'm thinking about how this food is going to nourish me. And trusting that my body's going to let me know when it's done. And so far, it's been doing that pretty well. Now, when I
How
was
many times a day?
I about 1 to 2 times a day.
Great. Let's see. We got a few more questions. Jay Bud, what did the doctor say caused your Lyme disease, and what do you think caused it?
I mean, we think that I got bit by a tick because I'm from Pennsylvania originally, born and raised. And because we looked back throughout my whole medical history, my Lyme doctor assumed that I either was born with it or that I got bit by a tick early on in life. Growing up in the mountains in northeastern PA and the Poconos, I was always getting bit up by bugs as a kid. You know, I grew up in the country. There was always bugs around me, on me. I used to play in the dirt, play in the grass all the time. So it's definitely was bound to happen. And Pennsylvania is actually the #1 state in the country for Lyme and the co-infections now. And so that's what the doctors say. And I believe it because of just the lifelong battle of all the mysterious illnesses I had growing up. So if I would have known it was Lyme, that would have been great. But I lived on antibiotics also my whole life because I had all these weird, mysterious illnesses.
Interesting. Stephanie Boyd, she says, I switched to higher protein last month. I noticed now my sleep is not as good. I have to urinate more often, I think, and bubbles in urine. Sorry, gross topic. Will going back to 80-20 fat help?
I think so. That happened to me when I go too lean. I start getting bubbles in my urine as well. So I have to focus, for me, I have to focus mostly on fat. Every time I go too lean, my sleep gets interrupted. I get heart palpitations. I don't sleep as soundly, and sometimes even the bubbles in the urine happen as well. And so it's like I use that as a cue. Like that's how I listen to my body intuitively. Like, okay, I had too much protein, didn't have enough fat. Let's scale it back.
Thank you.
Okay. Next question. Michael Smith, Angela, how long have you been carnivore? Amazing story.
Oh, thank you so much, Michael. So I've been carnivore now for 4.5 years. It will be February 2021. I can't remember the day, but that'll be my 5-year carniversary.
Nice. 5 years.
Yeah, almost 5 years.
Last question, but if anyone else has questions, make sure to put them there. Here we go. Are you pure carnivore now, or do you have eggs, dairy, or other non-meat foods now?
Oh, I am still lion diet. I only eat red meat, salt, water, and organ meat. But I mainly eat goat, lamb, and beef. Those are my 3 main. And then I'll occasionally have venison and bison. But no eggs, no dairy, no seasonings, no nothing. No plants. Literally just red meat, salt, and water.
Do you
Awesome.
still have some reactions to some foods?
I haven't tried. I don't even know. I feel like I'm in such a good groove that if I do try, I just don't, and I don't do well. I just don't want to take the risk.
I understand. I want to read this from Dean from Facebook. Dean, I don't want to mess up your last name. Weeslogel. Let's do Weeslogel. Beef, butter, bacon, eggs saved my life. Lost 165 pounds. Reversed type 2 diabetes. A1C is now 5.4. Restored my eyesight. No longer sleep apnea. 64-year-old male. 2 meals a day. No fruit, no veggies, no snacking, no carbs, no sweets. Good for you.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And it looks like we got. We do have another question. We got one for Dr. Kiltz. Dr. Kiltz, you have done long distance running in the past on carnivore, and if so, or have you done long distance running in the past on carnivore? And if so, how did your energy levels hold up?
Well, I mean, I've done plenty of things on carnivore. My energy's always held up, but I cut back and down because my joints were wearing out and I slowed it down. And so I would say that on carnivore, I've gone 15 days without any food and still did my walking and lifting weights and going to work and doing operations and everything. So energy either way has been fantastic. But my joint pain's gone. I got a pain in the ass sometimes, but that's because I got to go to work. But I love work. Love work. So I would say carnivore is still one of the best things you could do. But does carnivore mean you're not going to get a disease and die?
No.
No. But you feel better, and it's the best thing ever. And those bugs, the microbes want to make us fertilizer. They're everywhere.
That's right.
They're everywhere.
I mean,
They were working real hard on Angela to make you fertilizer.
I mean, they really ate me alive. I always would say I'm eating for two because I was eating for me and the parasites.
Yeah, well, but they're everywhere.
No.
I mean, they're everywhere. But when we give them energy of negativity, we live that negativity.
Yes.
When we love them, recognize that we're all one. We're all part of the great molecular structure of the universe, right?
Totally. Absolutely.
Dr. Nelson, maybe this is from, we got Michelle, newbie to carnivore, KMT, and lion, 3 months carnivore, 1 week lion, lupus, MTHFR, and super low platelet count. Been plant-based for over 30 years after hair analysis. Found out veggies have been killing me, feeling much better. Still can't raise platelet count. Angela, what are your thoughts? Just not long enough yet?
Yeah. I had MTHFR. I have MTHFR. That was one of the reasons why I was so sick, because when you're not methylating properly, you can't detox properly. And that's why I think also why carnivore, especially the lion diet, if you have MTHFR, can be so helpful and healing, but you've got to be patient with your healing. You have to think about, just because I got a diagnosis 4 years ago, but that doesn't mean I was only sick for 4 years. I was sick for over 30 years. Mm-hmm. So we can't expect to get healed in a year or 2 years. We can reverse a lot of those symptoms, sure, but it's going to take some time, and you've got to lean into that. You've got to commit. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges that I see a lot with people and my clients, especially. It's like they want to give up because, they're not miraculously healed in 2 or 3 months. And I'm like, you've got to give it time. You've got to give your body a chance to adjust.
It may take some time, especially since it sounds like the low platelet count may be an autoimmune issue, given the other things that were mentioned. And that takes time. I mean, you mentioned lupus, right, Dr. Kiltz, among other things?
Yeah.
So obviously there are some autoimmune issues, and they hopefully will get better, but it may take sometime.
Yep. And sometimes lupus gets diagnosed, and I see this a lot. A lot of people get diagnosed with lupus, and they find out that it was Lyme. Because it's and same with MS. A lot of people that get diagnosed with MS find out later on that it was Lyme that was the root cause of that, or that it got misdiagnosed.
Oh, wow.
The microbes want to make us mush.
Yes.
Here's another question from Burns Aquatics. Great story, Angela. How do you handle social situations, and how does your family think of your lifestyle?
I have been blessed with amazing family when it comes to this lifestyle. They are so supportive. Like, they are my biggest cheerleaders. And same with in social situations. I love to share my story, and I love to share the knowledge and with people. So I love social situations. I don't have an issue with anything. If I go to like a party or something and I'm unsure of if I don't know about the food, I will be there. I bring my own food, or I'll bring my own food. I'll bring my own cast iron. I'll set up shop, and that way nobody has to worry about me. Or, I'll bring, steaks for everybody or something. Generally, the majority of the people in my life love eating meat too. So especially now, the majority of my social network is within the carnivore community. That's where the majority of my friends are right now. And when I go to family gatherings, I don't have to worry because my family's always there with a steak for me. They saw me on my deathbed, and honestly, I mean, if I came out and was like, Mom, I think I'm gonna just survive off of cake and ice cream, she would have been like, okay, whatever you need to eat, if that's what's gonna keep you alive. And they've seen the transformation. I mean, especially with me being so sick and me being so frail and thin, being so underweight, and seeing where I am now, they never questioned me. They just trusted me, and they're still supporting me and loving me through this journey. So I feel very grateful.
That's wonderful.
It's a hard journey. It's supposed to be, right?
Right. I mean, like we talk about this a lot with our suffering. There's always a blessing within the suffering. And a lot of people think that this diet and my lifestyle is so restrictive. And like, what I try to explain to them is, you might think this is a restrictive diet, but what's really restrictive is laying in bed wondering if you're ever going to be able to walk again. What's really restrictive is wondering if I'm ever going to have my life back. And for me, I would much rather be eating a steak every day than living on a ton of medications so that I could just maybe get out of bed. So this has given me, this way of life and this way of eating has given me so much freedom. And I mean, I think about today. Today is September 9th, and a year ago today, I left for Europe, and I went to Europe for 3 months, traveled by myself. I actually ended up meeting with so many carnivores around the world. I went on a retreat for a week. I did a carnivore retreat. I traveled England. I went to Scotland. I met so many incredible carnivores from the community. I even got to see Dr. Kiltz when I was in London. Came over for breakfast to me and Olivia's place, and me and Olivia and her husband made breakfast for him and Carrie and Adam from Healing Humanity. And it was like, I remember saying that was my why of getting well. And nobody in my family at the time, they were like, you want to go backpacking in Europe? Can we just like backpack to the bathroom? And so I just reflect back on that time. And I think about like how free I felt and how easy it was to be traveling around the world. And I didn't have to think about what I was going to eat, what food I wanted, what restaurants I could go to. I mean, because I could go to any restaurant. They all sold steaks. They all had meat. And I was surrounded by great farms and great meat. And I was able to cook for myself. And I was just like living my best life. And so first to me, when like somebody says that it goes, oh, this is such a restrictive diet and lifestyle, I'm like, you don't know what restrictive is until you are truly restricted and you're not able to do anything for yourself. This was my one-way ticket to freedom, and it still is.
It's beautiful. I think we have time for one more question, and then we will do the giveaway. Cam's dad, my white cell is, I guess, blood cells. My white blood cell is very low now for a year plus, like 2.8. The doc finally given up trying to blame carnivore, but I think lower is normal for me after 2 years carnivore. Your thoughts? Anyone? Lower white blood cells, normal?
It's difficult to comment without knowing
Everything.
all prior numbers.
Well, and a full medical history of, what do your other numbers look like?
Sorry, Cam's dad. Get a consultation, a coaching call with Dr. Nelson. Email me and I'll send you the link to sign up, and he will do a deep dive with you.
The coaching
Bill Cook.
team. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Cook, I think this is for Angela. Is it raw, rare, or medium?
I like a little everything. I love raw. That's great. I do love raw beef fat, and I've had a lot of raw meat, especially when I was really going through it. When I was really sick, I ate a lot of raw and rare. Now I do like more rare and medium rare.
There you go. All right. Cool. And that's all the questions. We can do the giveaway.
We had a quick comment. Leg swelling. Suddenly having ankle, feet, and leg swelling problems. 2 years and 4 months with carnivore. She's gained 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Couldn't get my jeans on yesterday. And is 79 years young. Went to the doctor yesterday. They did an EKG, echocardiogram, which were both fine. Swelling, lower extremity swelling on carnivore, 2.5 years-ish. Any thoughts?
So to me, I'm wondering what your environment is like, because when I hear that to me also can signify you may be living in mold. That was one of the biggest symptoms for me, and to this day, how I know if I'm in exposure, because my ankles will swell. And our body, when it comes into contact with a toxin, it will naturally store fat cells and water. It'll retain water, and you can get swollen ankles, you can get bloated. So I would have her get her mycotoxins checked, or maybe get a workup done for SIRS or mold toxicity.
Angela, what's your website and or your YouTube channel where people could follow and listen and learn?
So my website is meatbasedmedium.com. It's being built right now. It will be finished within the next couple of days, but you can follow my journey on Instagram, which is Meat-Based Medium. And I'm currently starting a YouTube channel, which is also Meat-Based Medium. And you would like, you could also send me an email at meatbasedmedium@gmail.com.
We got KMT, and we got you. I know we got you coming on for a Zoom meetup again, or coming up.
We're rescheduling that. We're working it out.
Yep. All coming.
Yeah. It's all gonna work
And then
out.
we're gonna do an in-person podcast when I come to Tampa.
Yeah. Let me know when you're in Tampa and I'll make sure it's on the schedule.
Yeah.
Oh, for Hack Your Health.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
We'll do
nice.
it. I'm trying to 1 second here. Everyone, please put hashtag KMT into the chat. It's a Babies for Babies book, but anyone can make babies, but that's not the point. The point is also that there's tons of great recipes in this book. Tons of great
It's
carnivore
healthy
recipes.
for all of us.
So
Absolutely.
it's
Healthy
exactly.
for
It's healthy
all
for
of
all of us. Yeah. All right, I'm pressing the button.
And Dr. Kills, what does the baby's diet, the letter stand for?
Bacon, eggs, butter, beef, Kiltz's ice cream from time to time, and salt. Babies, and ultimately,
Yay,
it's all
Dr.
for
Kiltz.
healthier. Oh, all right. So let's see. Do I have any KMTs on Instagram? On KMT. I love this April Schoeniger.
Which platform is this, Alia?
This is Kick. It's a streaming platform.
I've got let's see, April Schoner on KMT, and so how about that? That's
Great.
that's
Please email me, alia@drkiltz.com.
April,
and we'll get you your book.
April, SCHOENHERR, Alia, got it.
Great. Awesome. Cool. There we go. Angela, do you have any anything you'd like to say to close?
Gosh, so many. Actually, how about Dr. Kiltz? How about we read a page?
Ooh. I've got The Way of the Christ, which was the first edition. But
Okay.
how are universal laws at work in my life? Universal laws are ceaseless at work in our life. When we can learn to recognize these laws and to understand them, then we learn to see our life in an eternal perspective. We find that we can take the jolts that may come to us, for we know that we are growing by these experiences, and we perceive that what we think, feel, and do today determines what we experience tomorrow. This particular point in our external existence, where we find ourselves today, is the expression of the sum total of what we have thought, felt, said, and done. Through this set of circumstances, we can begin to work toward the realization of our true identity. Why don't you go?
Okay.
What do you got?
All right. I'm just going to open this and see where we go. All right. Perfect. God is the greatest idea. As our mind expands to encompass this great idea, then the idea expresses itself through us in terms of our concept of it. As our concept of God expands, our expression of his nature grows. So whatever you eat or drink, whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. This is the way to live life abundantly. In this spirit, affirm confidently, I am an open channel through which the abundant action of the Father works freely.
Beautiful.
I
It
love
all
that.
flows the way it's supposed to.
Always does.
Always
It
does.
always does.
Always does. So, do we have anything happening later today, Dr. Nelson?
Yes, we have a 3 p.m. live stream. Please join us at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And we have Adrian Gladhill today with us.
There we go.
Lovely.
All right,
Awesome.
everybody. See you tomorrow or later today. Goodbye.
All right. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you so much for having me.
Always the
Bye-bye.
best. Luck.